WVUA News at 5 with your award-winning news team, Lynn Brooks, Terry Brewer, weather with Richard Scott, and sports with Gary Harris.
Coming up in home team weather, we are dry across the deep south. No rain to deal with just yet, but rain starting to approach from the southwest. How about your rain chances? Your forecast is coming up.
A longer summer vacation is in store for Alabama's public school students, but not everyone is happy about the change. We'll show you why. And Pandemonium in Tuscaloosa continues as the Bama softball team continues in the SEC tournament. We will hear from the fans at Rhodes Stadium. We're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Lynn Brooks. Terry Brewer has the evening off. It is that time of year to break out the flowers, the cards, and spend the day with your mom. But what does the holiday weekend hold in store weather-wise? We have a first check now of the weather with Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott.
Hey, Lynn, good Friday evening to you. Not that bad in terms of temperatures this afternoon. We got 78 in Tuscaloosa and the low humidity making it feel nice, but hey, things are going to change, and they're going to change quick by the time we approach the weekend. Cloud cover already starting to move in from the southwest now. Mainly high-level cirrus clouds, no rain just yet. But you notice some rain on radar over southwest Mississippi. We'll watch this rain slowly approach by late tonight and during the day tomorrow. And here's that weekend forecast. Saturday, Sunday, a lot of rain expected both days, at least the morning hours tomorrow. Look for just a few showers. The heavier rain later in the day. 76 on Saturday and Sunday. 80% chance of storms on Saturday. Mother's Day on Sunday. A guaranteed bed of rain pretty much 90%. What about the rest of the forecast? Plus, we'll look ahead towards next week. Got better news in terms of next week's forecast. Weather's coming up.
Thanks a lot, Richard. On your Education Watch tonight, big changes are coming for the school year schedule. Summer vacation will be a little longer this year for Alabama's public school students. The Alabama legislature voted to override Governor Robert Bentley's veto of a bill changing the school year calendar. Under the new law, the 2012-2013 school year cannot start more than 2 weeks before Labor Day and must end by the Friday before Memorial Day. Tuscaloosa school leaders are speaking out about the change. WVUA's Lindsay Price has the story.
Tuscaloosa City School Superintendent Dr. Paul McKendrick and Tuscaloosa County School Interim Superintendent Dan Butler says they do not agree with the changes.
I'm a little disturbed that the legislature has decided to enact laws to take the local discretion from school boards on what school calendar would best fit their situation.
All children benefit from more days in school. We place ourselves in the category of schools of countries, of third world countries that go to school longer than we do.
With the additional 2 weeks in the summer, McKendrick and Butler says it's going to hurt the children in the long run.
We're going to spend quite a bit of time during the first 6 weeks of school going through review.
We already have the problem of loss of retention during the summer.
Both say they are looking at ways to make up for the loss of instructional days. One option is a longer school day.
Cut out 3 instructional days, but at the same time we turn around and add a few minutes to each day. That way we don't lose 6 instructional days, but we will lose 3.
If you add up those 15 minutes over 173 days, yes, you get another 7 days. But those 15 minutes per day end up being roughly about 2 to 3 minutes per period.
Lawmakers say the law would extend Alabama's tourist season and allow the state to collect more tax revenue. In Tuscaloosa, Lindsay Price, WVUA News.
The bill is set to be in effect for 15 months. The same restrictions would apply for the opening of the 2013-2014 school year. Then the legislature would decide whether to continue that practice. Continuing your Education Watch this evening, the idea of charter schools in Alabama is dead, at least for now. The legislature killed the bill Thursday. Charter schools would be taxpayer-funded facilities operating outside the regulations most public schools must follow. Tuscaloosa County Schools Interim Superintendent Dan Butler also spoke with us about this bill and says he is glad this is not a topic anymore. And on the city side, the superintendent, Dr. Paul McKendrick, has gone on record saying his biggest concern was how charter schools would be funded. And WVUA covering Pickens County tonight, where it's been a long road for a Carrollton woman who was once accused of capital murder. Bridget Lee spent 9 months in jail, 21 months on home confinement, facing a capital murder charge after a botched autopsy on her newborn son. In 2006, Lee was found innocent after a 6-person autopsy panel showed the baby was stillborn. In this legislative session, the state's wrongful incarceration committee recommended nearly $119,000 in payment to Lee, but the appropriation bill was recently dropped from the House version of the budget bill. Lee says she hopes the state will be held liable for their actions. And WVUA will have more on Lee's story coming up at 6, where we will show you how Lee continues to fight for justice. An update now from Mississippi on a case WVUA has been following since last week. Adam Mays, the man wanted for kidnapping 2 girls and killing their mother and older sister, took his own life last night as the police closed in on him. Martin Savage has more now from Alpine, Mississippi.
Here's how the final few minutes of this drama played out last night. 5:30 roughly local time is when authorities say they got a tip that somebody had seen Adam Mays in a wooded area about 100 yards down the road behind us here. It just so happened that there was a heavily armed SWAT team made up of state law enforcement that was nearby. That team was divided in 2 and they began pushing into the area. As they say they were moving through the densely wooded part of the forest, they came across one of the young girls laying on the ground. A short distance away, they saw Adam Mays. Mays reportedly jumped to his feet, pulled a semi-automatic gun from his waistband, and shot himself in the head. The young girls were immediately rescued at that time. They were not by Adams. And it was said by authorities that they were in pretty good shape. It was clear they were suffering from the ordeal they'd been through, suffering from poison ivy and also dehydration. But otherwise, they were okay, and that was the most important thing of all. They were transported to a hospital in Memphis and were told they were released to family members just a few hours ago. Meanwhile, the investigation is continuing. Authorities say if they find anyone else who helped Mays while he was on the run, they will be prosecuted. In Alpine, Mississippi, I'm Martin Savage.
3 people have been taken into custody for helping Adam Mays. Their names have not yet been released. The investigation remains ongoing. Drivers may soon see changes at the pump, the gas pump that is. Unfortunately, lower prices are not necessarily on that list. That's the bad news. The Obama administration and Environmental Protection Agency are allowing filling stations to ditch the pumps used to capture harmful gasoline vapors while refueling cars. That includes the rubber boot at the end of the fuel pump nozzle. The EPA says the nozzles are redundant because most cars are now equipped with onboard systems to catch those vapors. The White House says the move will save consumers and businesses nearly $6 billion over the next 5 years. Thousands of fans from all over the South are in Tuscaloosa to watch the best teams in the SEC on the diamond. The SEC softball tournament continued in T-Town today as the top 4 seeds continued their road to the championship. Record crowds have been pouring through the gates as nearly 7,000 fans attended yesterday's 4 games, and the crowds are expected to get even bigger. WVUA spoke with one Tennessee fan who told us if she has to come out of her home territory, it may as well be to Tuscaloosa.
Much rather be in Orange Country